Hey, Rob, I started the recording just so we would have it.
Well, thank you, Lisa. Yeah, for those who are just joining us, we're just letting people gather here. There's a couple more minutes till 7:30, so we'll let some more people join in. So we'll get started here shortly. Hey, while we're waiting, I was going to mention our neighborhood here in Reston. We've had a black bear sighting again today. That's the second one in 2 weeks.
Where was this one, Rob?
So right on where I live on Howland Drive, it was it's caught on video by 5 different people on their decks, eating their bird feeders, damaging their bird feeders. And it's a pretty sizable bear. It's no little cub.
Yeah, we had a similar visitor tromp through the backyard, up beside the house, through the arbor, outside onto the street and into the neighbor across the street last week. And the person who took the video, I didn't see it, took the video, sent it to me, but not to the neighbor where it went. So I sent it to her and she went, "Oh my God." She has a small dog. She said, "Well, that's the end of him going out by himself." I mean, they are very careful with the dog. I think it's mostly an inside dog, but anyway, it was exciting.
Okay, well, it's 7:30. I'm looking for our first applicant, and I'm not seeing her just yet.
Rob, there is a Maria that's a guest. Is that her?
Oh, maybe I'm missing. Oh,
Hi,
So-
I'm Maria. Can you hear me?
yes, Ms. Jimenez, are you here tonight?
Yes, sir.
All right, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Well, so I think we can get the meeting started. We definitely have a quorum, and it's 7:31. So let's go ahead and get started. So good evening. This is the October Reston Planning and Zoning Committee meeting. So we have just 2 things on the agenda tonight, and I do want to mention an administrative item before we get started. The administrative item is, I want the committee to kind of think about it while we're doing the applications tonight. We really need to form a subcommittee this year and probably do another, get some nominations for new members for this committee before the end of the year. Right now we're at 14 members with no alternates or no associate members. We're allowed to have 15 members plus 3 associates. So not that we have to fill all those positions, but I do think it's probably time for us to take that under consideration. So I'd like the committee members to be thinking about if you'd like to not only form a subcommittee, but I need somebody to lead it. So be thinking about that.
I'll volunteer to do that, Rob.
Okay. So we'll take names and then we'll draw out of a hat, or we'll figure something out. But there have been a couple people over this past year in the community that have expressed interest, and I tried to remind them that we kind of do this at the latter part of the year and that there's a form to fill out, and so hopefully they'll and I can get back in contact with them. But by all means, if y'all know some other people as well, it's probably good to get that word out. So Hopefully, I think there'll be meeting time at the end of the meeting to talk about that a little further. Okay, so we have two items on the agenda tonight. They're both of them are somewhat unique. They are unique in the fact that they were applications that were required to file like a special exception with Fairfax County, yet there's no real physical improvements for us to review. But because they are going through that special exception process, that does come to our committee for review. And so let me make an introduction to Ms. Jimenez. My understanding and her documents were kind of sent out electronically. Again, there were no physical improvements to really show. It was basically, as I understand it, she has a home daycare situation that that she's increasing the number of children in the daycare, and so essentially she did fill out the our P&Z questionnaire, but as you can imagine, a lot of the questions were really not applicable to in a traditional sense, and so some of the things that I had mentioned to the applicant were, things that we would like to know if the neighbors were, feeling that this was okay, and if there are any traffic concerns to be to take into account, and if she could just help address, kind of her current situation, and then what it would look like in the expanded portion as well. So with that said, Ms. Jimenez, if you'd like to kind of make your presentation for the committee and give us some insight into what you're proposing, that would be terrific.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
All right. Hi, everybody. Good night. Well, thank you so much for listening to me at the moment. I mean, I used to have a home daycare in the past, and I had it for 13 years, but then I was forced to close because I was renting the place and they wouldn't renew my contract. So I closed the daycare and I went off to work for banks, and I was working for Bank of America in the investment world in Merrill Lynch. So I decided to resign over there because my goal was actually to have my daycare again. So I bought my house last year. I opened my daycare again in January, but now there's a lot more regulations than what it was before. Before, you could just apply for state licensing and they will provide you with the 12 kids. The capacity was up to 12, but now it is not like that anymore. So I had to do a lot of work, and I'm still working with zoning and all of that. I have my court date on November 16 and on November 30th, so they can approve these extra 5 children. At the moment, I have the license for 7. I have a waiting list for 7 kids, but I cannot get any more kids. I have a big space where I am really looking forward to fill it out with the remaining. The traffic would not be a concern because everyone has different scheduling. My neighbors are aware. I send letters, certified letters to all of them, and so that's ultimately what I am looking for to get, hopefully, my license for 12 kids.
You're on mute, Rob.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Jimenez. So I guess to clarify, it sounded like your planning commission hearing is probably November 16th, and then your board of supervisor hearing on November 30th.
Correct.
Sounded like, okay, good. Okay, so before we get to the committee, I did want to ask, because there are some names on the list tonight. Are there any neighbors here that want to speak on this application tonight? All right, hearing and seeing none. So Mr. Menas, I heard you say that you sent, yeah, certified letters to your neighbors and I guess, and have you heard anything negative or any concerns that were raised by your neighbors?
No, sir.
Okay.
No one has said anything negative. Thank goodness.
All right, let me I guess let me open that up to questions of the committee.
Rob, Dick has his hand raised and Tammy does.
Yeah, there we go. I had to get my scrolling on here. Mr. Kennedy, but you go first.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Melissa, for Mary, from what you're doing. I think you hit the key points in contacting your neighbors. In a couple of previous issues we had, that was an issue. And basically, could you tell us a little bit about what the arrival and departure situation is there coming into your house? It sounds like you're almost there anyway, because you've got to take account of seven people coming in, and can you just up that to the 12 or so and be comfortable? Do you have a yard area or parking areas outside?
Yes, sir. I have a parking area for 4 cars, and then the other two on the side, that will be a total of 6 cars. However, I have parents that have I have 3 families that they have a total of 2 kids each. So pretty much right now I have 4 families. And I have 2 walkers, and the other 2 they drive, but they come at a different time.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, those are all the right answers, and we certainly need good childcare coverage, and you just give off the impression that you're organized, and I think you've done it before, so I think this is a positive thing for everybody. That's my comments.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Richard. Tammy.
Ms. Jimenez, welcome. Great. We need good local small daycare. And so I hope this is fruitful for you and flies through. Has Reston Association been apprised, or have you had any contact with them?
Yes, ma'am. When I bought the house, I actually went there and talked to them about my daycare, because I wasn't sure if I need to have a permission or a license, or yeah, some permission for me to build up those community libraries. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but it is like a box where anybody can just drop off books. And I went there and I talked to them about my daycare, and everything is okay. I had filled out paperwork with them as well, so they are aware.
Okay. And you had said in your information you sent to us that your clients, you're anticipating a very staggered arrival and departure. What are your hours of operation? And I understand you have 6 months to 12. Is that 12 years old? Is that correct?
6 months to no, actually, I work with children 6 weeks to 6 years old.
Oh, okay, 6 and 6. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. Okay. So what are your hours of operation?
I work from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And the children start arriving in between. I give 15 minutes space. So I have some arriving at 7:30, 7:45, 8 o'clock, 8:15.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you have some a swing set in the backyard. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else beside a swing set?
No,
Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
sure. Thank you.
All right, any other questions for the applicant?
Hey, Rob, this is John Coppola. I just have a quick comment. I'm fully in support of the application. I think it's great. One of the things we notice in our neighborhood is the people that doing the drop-offs and pickups often are going way too fast. And so just if we get talk to your clients and encourage them to, drive the speed limit, because usually they're probably in the neighborhood and need to be mindful of other kids in the neighborhood too.
Okay. I actually have that written on the policy. It does says that that may be a reason of terminating a client if they're not following the guidelines of speed limits around the neighborhood.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. I certainly appreciate that. That's really important for safety.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Katie?
Hey, I just had a question. You said you go up to 6 years old. So do you have anybody that's coming on a bus, or like, getting dropped off on a bus or picking up to go to school from your house?
Yes, we picked them up from school. There's 2 kids that are being picked up from Terracet.
Oh, okay. So there's like no buses coming in. I was just curious how that worked with the county school. How would they would know to bring the kids to your house?
Yeah, no, we picked them up. We
Okay,
dropped them
cool.
in the morning and we picked them up in the afternoon.
Awesome.
All right, I'm seeing no other questions. Mr. Carter, do you have any comments? John, you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Is there I don't get these applications usually through your source, so I have no idea where this is or what it looks like. Is there a way to pin up a graphic that would show and give me the address?
The question was for me? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I can give you the address, and actually you can also go on Google and Google us. There's a lot of pictures, videos, and everything, and even the address and phone number is there for the daycare that I am currently running. The address is 2233 Sanibel, Sanibel Drive, Reston, Virginia 20191. And you can Google us Kako and Friends Daycare. It is KAKO and Friends with an S at the end, Daycare. I actually encourage everyone to please Google our site so you guys can have a better idea of what we do every single day here.
So
So
K-A-K-O. K-A-K-O, that's it.
Yeah.
And friends.
Kako and Friends. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, John, it's down Glade, South Glade.
It's off Glade.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's in back of Dogwood School and in the proximity of USGS, southwest of USGS.
I'll find it. Okay, sounds like we're ready for the planning commission.
Thank you.
I'd be pleased to recommend approval of this, Rob.
Okay, I'll take that.
I'll second it.
And Tammy second, okay. I'm just gonna go, all in favor, say aye.
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 And any opposed? All right.
And
Well, it
thank
was
you,
uni-
Maria, for your work, and may it go very well for you and your children. Thank you.
Well, how many is that?
Thank you.
Rob? What is the vote? How many people are attending?
Yeah, I've got to still count here, Mike, John, sorry. So we have 10, that's 10, 10 to 10
Unanimous.
yeses and 0 no. So,
Okay. Very good.
all right. Ms. Jimenez, thank you again for your time, and we wish you good luck with the Planning Commission and the Board of Supervisors and with your business.
Thank you so much, everyone. And please go ahead and go into our sites and look into it.
All right. You have a good night.
Is it okay if I hang up?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, so I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Yes, you're
Thank
good.
you.
Okay, the second application tonight is Trine University. Once again, this is a special exception for an existing facility. There's no physical improvements. So with us tonight is Lori Greenlee from McGuire Woods, and I will let Lori explain the rest.
Great. Rob, can I share my screen? Is that
Yes, you may.
enabled? Okay,
Should be.
I will do that. There you go. You see that?
Coming up. There we go.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Well, good evening, everyone. I am Lori Greenleaf. I'm a land use planner with McGuire Woods. And on the call tonight too is Courtney Shatino. She's representative of the property owner, MRP Realty. And we also have several representatives from Trine University to answer any of your questions. This is a fairly simple application requesting approval of a special exception for a university use in an existing office building. The property is located on Campus Commons Drive on the north side of Sunrise Valley. The zoning map is on the left and the aerial's on the right. It's outlined in red. The property contains 6.5 acres. It's zoned I3. It's developed with a close to 250,000 square foot office building and associated above grade garage built in 1999. The property is surrounded by other property developed with office buildings and by townhouses on the south side of Sunrise Valley. And as you all are aware, I'm sure the property directly across Campus Commons to the west has been rezoned to the PRM district to be developed with multifamily and office uses. This slide shows the office building is in yellow. The garage is outlined in yellow. There's also a picture in the top right of the building that's looking at the northern facade. And the third image on the bottom is the floor plan for the university. The use will utilize approximately 8,700 square feet of one floor of the office building. Trine University is a private, nonprofit, secular educational institution. It's based in Indiana. They offer more than 50 programs, mostly STEM and business fields at various levels, the associate, bachelor, master's, and applied doctoral degree levels. And they offer those courses online, on campuses, and at educational centers like this one proposed in Reston. It's their intent to offer graduate level programs at the Reston location, and this will only be on the weekends. There will be no more than 160 students attending at any one time and 3 faculty members. There is more than enough parking available within the garage and the surface parking. I mean, never mind the fact that the use will operate on weekends when the office use generates really no parking demand. Property is located in the Wheelie Station TOD. The comprehensive plan language for Wheelie includes the encouragement of educational institutions within the TOD, specifically mentions higher learning. The staff report has been published. It includes a pedestrian circulation map, which I did not include in here, but it shows a very direct and safe route to Metro. The school, based on their experience, does anticipate many students taking Metro to this facility. As I mentioned, the staff report is published. It recommends approval. Staff has no issues with the application. We do appreciate your time. You'll see on the screen we have a Planning Commission date of October 26th and the board on November 1st. And our team and I are happy to answer any of your questions.
Thank you, Lori.
I'll put this back if it's helpful.
Any questions from the committee? Lori, one question I have is just the approximate, that building's been there for quite some time. So just a quick or approximate square footage of what it takes up versus the rest of the building.
So you mean this use will be 8,700 square feet. The building is about 250,000 square feet.
Okay,
So it's a portion of one of the floors.
got it. Mr. Kennedy.
I have just a general question. It's very interesting, your proposal, and it sounds very good. What brought you to Reston to do this? And do you do any teaching already in Reston?
That I may have to flip to one of the Trine representatives.
Lori, I can help with that.
Sure.
So we have actually, and hi everyone, my name is Brittany Hayden. I'm the.
Can you speak up, please, a little?
Sure, I'm sorry. My name is Brittany Hayden. I'm the Executive Director of Academic Operations for the College of Graduate and Professional Studies at Trine. What brought us to Reston really was because of the research that we've done on the area in becoming kind of a tech hub, and with our STEM degree programs that we plan on.
There's all sorts of background noise, and I can't hear the answers.
Sorry, let me try to.
Brittany, your mic is really soft.
All right. Does this help at all?
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So what brought us to Reston really was because of the research that we did in it becoming a tech hub in the area. And we offer quite a unique graduate degree program. We cater towards strictly online students, but we also cater towards students who still want a hybrid component and a residency component. So we thought this was really the next metropolitan area that we were interested in to bring our STEM degree programs to that area.
Any other questions for the applicant? I'd entertain a motion from anyone if.
I move we approve this Bill Penniman.
Okay.
I'll second William.
All right. Any comments? I guess I should have gone to Commissioner Carter. If Mr. Carter has any, we'll have you come up during the comment session once you can unmute.
One question. What is the date of the Planning Commission? I think you said the 21st, but that can't be right.
I said the 26th.
26th. Okay. That's good. That's all for me.
All right.
All right. So there's a motion to approve. There's a second. I'm going to ask for all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? No opposed. So another unanimous application.
Thank you all very much.
10-0, I assume.
Well, actually, there's now at least 12 of us here. So
12. Okay.
Some people have popped on since my first count. So. Well, Lori, thank you very much, and your applicant for coming before us tonight. When we wish you all very good luck, and we thank you for being in Reston. We look forward to hopefully you'll be able to expand in Reston while you're here.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Rob, can I ask a question, or is this premature of a general question?
You can go ahead and ask it, Richard.
Your first agenda that you sent out had a presentation by the Fairfax County people about the changes to our master plan. Well, do you know why they withdrew or?
Yeah. So actually, Dick. So at our November meeting, there's going to be two presentations from Fairfax County. One of the presentations is going to be on this parking reimagined, where the county would like to come and explain this look that they're taking at their parking regulations. And then the other one is not doesn't have to do with the Reston master plan or everything. There was a presentation that the county wants to come and give us on the public facilities policy plan update. And originally that was scheduled for tonight, but there was a little bit of miscommunication on my part, and they ended up going with the November date instead.
Okay, thank you very much, Rob. You said that was going to be in December, correct?
Our November 21st meeting.
Okay, thanks. Sorry. Thanks.
Yep, no problem. So right now for November, there are no applicants that we're aware of now, and there's just those two county presentations for the November meeting.
Can I make a statement, please, regarding the Reston Comprehensive Plan?
Sure.
I listened in on the Board of Supervisors land use meeting a week ago Tuesday, and I was quite shocked to listen to the supervisors comment on it. And they were horrified that actual citizens had written part of the plan, and they had no concept at all presented to them that what was written in the chapters was vetted heavily by staff. I know Bill Penniman and I worked on environment and had a bunch of stuff in that, and the staff didn't approve. It was too aggressive, so we ratcheted down below up to what is currently expected as far as stormwater retention on site. And I think William Pegues has told us that adjoining jurisdictions have higher requirements for stormwater retention. So anyway, that's part of it. And then they were had no knowledge. Not only had staff vetted what was in our chapters, they had met with every single lead on every single chapter, and John Carter had vetted everything. So we had an actual planning commissioner who vetted stuff. And you would have thought the Mongols from God knows where had written in and, you know, sabers rattling and were putting up all kinds of outrageous stuff. And it was just shocking to me that that was the impression. So I talked with Walter Alcorn on Saturday about it. And he said, yeah, he was pretty amazed too. So I had not anticipated that kind of hostility from the Board of Supervisors. So we'll see. I think it's going to be quite a battle. Not only that information, but they delayed even presenting this to the Planning Commission or the board, saying that it had to be looked at very carefully. So you all just need to know that's in the wind.
Tammy and John, this is Dave Vanel. Was there, maybe this is too much of a pointed question, but were there any supervisors who particularly led the charge, or was it kind of board wide?
Well, it was, you know, they go down the row and everybody has a chance to speak. Walter was pretty shocked. He didn't display complete horror, but you know, I got that out of him Saturday. Rodney Lusk was supportive. He said, wait a minute, some of this stuff in the plan is really good. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater, or words to that effect. But Faust was negative. Penny Gross was very negative and horrified that why would citizens have the pen when we have staff that writes these plans and should be writing the plans. So those were two of the most verbose and negative leaders of the charge.
There were nine negatives so far. If you're counting votes, which I know we don't always do that, but there are 9.
Yeah, and y'all, you can watch this thing. It's taped. If you go to the Board of Supervisors Land Use Policy Committee, you can see it.
I don't understand. These things are normally vetted by the Planning and Zoning Council, aren't they, John?
Yes, well, the planning commission will go first.
Yeah, so how come it's in front of the Board of Supervisors?
Well, they asked for it, so
This is their land use
Yeah.
subcommittee, that meeting. It was not a formal hearing. Nobody is allowed to speak at those unless you're invited, and primarily it's staff that speaks. But why they had the impression, and oh, by the way, staff has 5 weeks to respond to the plan. Well, the plan was given August 1st. So their 5 weeks are up, but still they need more time. So it's just very odd.
Well, just
Tam-
not
Tammy,
everybody
go
on the
ahead.
task force is disappointed with that reaction. I was disappointed when the question was asked, does this plan have community support? And no one said, yeah, but it was only 7-6. So, you know, it's depending upon where you sit on things, the board's reaction could be good, could be bad.
And Tammy, Dave again. The group was convened to discuss just the land use chapter, or was it?
No. The entire
Chapter-wide.
resident comprehensive plan.
Okay.
David, it was a workshop for the
Right.
task force, and John presented to the land use policy where we had gotten with the plan. That's what I think they asked
Okay.
for, right, John?
But the
Okay.
general comments, since you're into this, you might as well get the general comments. One, there was concern about the affordable housing, that we were going too far in the transit station areas. Two,
We're proposing too much
Yes.
affordable housing?
the tiers are too low, was their
Really?
concern. Yep. The other was particularly the health and the equity chapter. They thought, well, shouldn't that be in a policy plan? Why do you have that in a master plan? And why is Reston doing more than the rest of the county? I guess there's some statements in the plan that this is the first time equity and health have been included in a comp plan, which is true, but they took offense at that. And then what Tammy was saying, Penny Gross was talking about, why would the community write these things? We have excellent staff. What is this? What is this going on? So Tammy, was that, and Mike, is that sort of a summary of where we were?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so,
Very
yes.
accurate.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we'll just have to work through this, and that's what the planning commission's for. So in terms of the schedule, the staff is supposed to be, out end of November, 1st of December. Then it takes 30 days to establish a public hearing. So this will be at the Planning Commission in January. And I guess there's a whole series of community meetings, although they're mostly wrapped up. I think there's 1 or 2 more to go. And so the October 28th is when Walter wanted the primary comments from people, although you can comment all the way along the line. So that's our schedule. Should see what the staff comments are in December. Planning Commission will be in January, and then there'll be a series of work sessions to work through all these chapter concerns.
And may I comment also that conveniently, citizen comments are to wrap up October 28th, but you won't have staff comments until after that. So there's no opportunity to clarify, correct, or amend staff comments, which I find a very interesting way to do business.
John, this is David Vanel. Could you clarify what was said about the affordable housing chapter? Are they concerned that we are asking for too many affordable housing units? Are they concerned about the reduction from reduction down for sales units to 60, 70, and 80. What are they griping about?
Well, be careful, but so they weren't terribly specific, but what I got is, why is Reston different than the rest of the county? Why would we do something different in the TSAs than the rest of the county? Why do we do that? And I don't think they understood that we are keeping the county recommendations in the PRC area.
Yeah. I mean, my take would be that we didn't do enough in affordable housing. But,
yeah, well, that's all what always happens. There's people on both sides of this.
And what about Tyson's? They're doing something different.
Yeah, well,
Tyson's is special.
Yeah.
Well, and so is Reston, and that's why our supervisor said that he didn't want to be governed by all of the general categories. I and John were on a committee that was pushing for a certain level, and generally the county made a commitment to maybe ask less, but make sure that we get 60% of area median income on workforce housing. So and do away with the foolish 120%, which is ages old and doesn't work well, and really get rid of 100% of area median income. I wanted to finish that.
We got rid of the 120% 5 years ago when I started here. But
only for rental.
That was the comments from the Board of Supervisors. So why is Reston different? Reston seems to be even more aggressive than Tyson's. I actually don't have a good comparison myself.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, well, we'll have to prove it.
So, hi, this is Lisa. I just want to let you know, I did include the link to the meeting on the chat, and I encourage everyone to take a look at it. It's the second item on the agenda for the Land Use Committee.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. That'll be a big help for us to.
Yeah, I think.
Thing I remember, and I'd like John to hear this, is that when Supervisor Walter came in, he said that he wanted to. He made a request that Reston not be part of this because we're going through this new look at the master plan, and it was approved. So I don't know. Some of the stuff, the background of this is just seems very incomplete.
Yeah, I don't think they remembered that, but even so, they wanted to know, why is Reston different? We'll just have to work through these, that's all.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to be changing the recommendations, I don't think, on the housing, on the affordable housing.
I would hope not. I mean, it seems to me there's just an awful lot of education that needs to be done.
Yeah. Well, it's more than education. We're going to have to show that it's appropriate. They're not going to just take it as on its face value.
So I do want to go back to the committee with the first topic about a kind of a subcommittee for kind of taking nominations. Just to remind everybody, when we do that, we agreed years ago that we would collaborate with other Reston-based organizations, Reston Association, I think it's Reston Citizens Association,
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Dick. And I'm forgetting one more.
Us.
Well, no, there's still, I think there's even one more, but basically there's a representative from each one of those organizations that then gets together, and then usually we have about 3 people or so on our side, that since it's our committee. We did have I believe it was 3 members of the committee whose terms expire at the end of this year. All 3 have vowed to run again, and that's Dick Kennedy, Sue Straits, and David Vanel. So thank you for your 3 contributions, and we look forward to having you back. Mr. Penniman.
Rob? Yeah, let me raise a question. You and others have often complained that the questions that come from members of the committee now take up too much time, and will adding more members to the committee help that? And I wonder whether we need more people, whether we're better off staying at the level we happen to be at, or maybe even shrinking the committee some, but at least just filling the spots because we once said they were there does seem to conflict with whether the members actually have enough time to ask the questions that they think need to be asked.
No, Bill, you raise a really good point, and I think that's why we didn't rush to fill the whole 18 slots for the last several years. You know, there might be a member or two that ends up, you know, leaving it within this coming year, and you know, yeah, we as a committee can decide if we really need. I mean, there were a couple of evenings recently that we were close to getting a quorum. Quite frankly, in the last several months. So, so that sometimes is an issue when there's just, you know, other things going on. But you know, the other thing is,
adding more people means you need more people to form a quorum.
No, it does not, because the associate members don't count. So we can always have the rule that the associate members are only there to fill in if needed, but they don't necessarily have to have a voice or be given a voice if that's what we decide as a group. We've been pretty loose with that over the last number of years, where we've just kind of let the associate members kind of blend in with the regular members. And but per our kind of the way that this was formed, that the idea was the associate members really only got a vote if they were kind of filling in for another regular member, and then we could even be at that they don't even get to participate in the comment period unless there's time, you know, time permits. But no, I think the comment, Bill, about it's just that we all have to recognize that many of us have a lot of comments on these applications. I think we should get into a habit of giving some written comment to the applicants in addition to our verbal comments. And then in the time allowed that we have, in being respectful of getting everyone else's ability to say something, I think if we pick some of our more, you know, bigger points, but then go ahead and throw an email or a comment back to the applicant, I think if we got into a habit of that, it would be, we wouldn't feel like we have so many things that we have to bombard the applicant with during the verbal session of our meetings.
I mean, I think sometimes that's right. Other times we don't know what our comments are until we've asked the questions to define what is actually going on that isn't apparent from the documents. And just we don't always get documents well in advance, and reviewing them as a just-in-time basis sort of to get to the meeting, I apologize to say, but squeezing in an extra early analysis without the questions and then emails, now everybody else has to read too, and I don't know that everybody will. I'm not sure that it is better than the process we have. It's great if people want to do it.
Yeah, no, Bill, I'm suggesting after the meeting to summarize your thoughts, and it can just go to the applicant. It doesn't have to go to the whole committee.
But if a vote's already occurred, does it help?
Well, no, this would be more about in the process of, yeah, prior to a vote for sure.
Okay. If I could add something, I think Bill makes some good comments, but I think what you started here is the right way to go, because you need to be looking forward. Some of us are, not everybody, I don't think, is getting older, but I am. And pretty soon,
Amen.
We're gonna need
Beats the alternative.
We're gonna need to have something to, you know, not everybody off the street works in this committee that we have well. And I think it's good to try to get some new people in. And, you know, there's a lot of younger people that are coming to Reston as it changes, particularly around all our, the housing gets tied into Metro. That's a new brand of Restonites that need to have some say. Enough said.
Thank you.
Thanks. Katie, do you have a comment?
I was just gonna say that if there's a committee, I guess we're gonna have a committee. I would like to be a part of the committee that's looking for new interviewing or whatever the right terminology is for new members. To what Dick just said, yes, there's so many new people to Reston. I think we should get a couple new people, you know, here's some new ideas, some new feedback from different folks, but I would like to be on the committee.
I would add, I don't want to be on the committee. So I make that clear. But I do think it makes sense to get some people who live in the areas that are being developed. I mean, in the TSAs, because the rest of us come from we are the older crowd by and large, and we have a different set of views from the people who are actually going to be occupying these new developments.
Right.
Well, it's important to have people that understand development and the government processes. So, you know, some people are going to get on this and not want to stay. They want a voice, but they don't want to get into the details that we need to address.
Let me go to
Okay,
David Vanel or Sue.
Yeah, Rob. It's tempting to say everybody should have gray hair or no hair, but anyway, the question is yes, very good. The question is, with the three names you mentioned and a 15-person committee, are the other two seats empty already, or what? Because there should be 5 of us every year.
We lost
three
3 people.
Yeah.
1 died and 2 women resigned.
Okay, so actually we've got more than 5 to appoint, right?
Well, no, so we have right now we have the 3 associate positions that are open. I think I misspoke before.
Do we have 3? Okay, I thought we had converted 1 during the year to.
Well, we did, but we had already lost regular members. So basically, right now we're at 15, and there's 3 associates. We've never appointed any new associates.
Okay.
And so we just kind of left that riding for a while, and you know, we can continue to do that, or test the water. We could always send out ask requests for applicants and test the water. And if we don't like the you know, the applications, we don't have to choose new members. But
fair enough.
John?
Hi, Rob. I'm glad to participate in the committee to help out, and it's a worthwhile discussion. And I will say, having been a part of the DRB also, that they have struggled over the years to find new members. So I think it's wise for us to be thinking ahead. So thanks for bringing this up.
Yeah, so I'd like the members to think about it, and please send me an email if you want your name to be, you know, on the committee, and then we can decide, you know, how many people we end up with in addition to the other groups that have to have at least 1 representation, and then we can move it on for there. But our bylaws kind of talk about this has to happen between now and December, and then typically we announce any new members by January, and we move on from there. David, do you still have a comment?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't take it down.
Okay, just checking. All right, well, that's all I had for tonight. Does anybody have any other final words of wisdom?
Yes, thank you for all the good stuff you're doing for us, Rob.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, let's thank Lisa Connors tonight for filling in for Shruti.
Thank you, Rob.
Shruti had a family emergency. It sounded somebody passed away in her family at the last minute. So prayers for Shruti and her family.
Thank you very much.
All right. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I so move, William.
All
I
right.
sec-
All right. This could be one of the shortest meetings on record, so let's take advantage of it. Thank you, everybody, for all your comments, and
Take
All
care. There's
Thank
two
you,
good
everybody.
meetings on too.
enjoy the rest
Thank
of the night.
you.
Thank you.